At the end of our winter season in South America, we made a journey to the Galapagos Islands. We flew to Baltra, the airport for Santa Cruz Island, and went to the main town of Puerto Ayora. We had visited these islands in 1967 aboard our boat Bacchus. We remembered the Darwin Station, a much more active research facility at that time. We did see one of the giant Galapagos tortoises hiding in the shade. A tour group fortunately came along to give us information about Lonesome George, a popular giant tortoise who has since died. However, we had a giant replica of Lonesome George right outside the hostel. Across the street was the morning fish market. The daily catch was brought in and prepared for sale. There was an abundance of yellowfin tuna, some mahi-mahi, barracuda, and these lovely red-spotted grouper. Also wanting a share were the pelicans and sea lions. Now don't be greedy. 47 years ago, we had met Gus Angermeyer and his family. Gus and his brothers were some of the early settlers to the Galapagos Islands, true pioneers. We took a water taxi out to what we remembered as his lava rock house. It is now a lovely waterfront inn run by his son Tepi, who we had known quite well from our sailing days. Tepi's Aunt Carmen and his cousins still live in lava rock houses on the peninsula. It was surprising to see so many sailing yachts at anchor. Then we learned that this was a stopover for an around-the-world regatta. We wanted to visit the island of Floriana, so we took a tour, getting there in 1.5 hours via fast motorboat. Ashore, we were transported arriba, up the mountain and into typical vegetation. A little hiking took us over to a rocky enclosure that housed many of the giant tortoises. There were large ones and small, old ones and young. Even some that were slowly amorous. We were able to visit many other Galapagos Islands during an 8-day cruise aboard the 84-foot sailboat, the Beagle. How appropriate! Each day, the 13 passengers went on various expeditions, either snorkeling or hiking or exploring along the coast with the Zodiacs. We were always accompanied by our first-class guide and naturalist, Marta. Marta gave us information about the area and what we'd be seeing, as well as finding and identifying the birds and animals we were likely to come across, like this friendly sea lion, or the diving pelican and brown knotty tern wanting a share of the pelican's catch. The frigate bird also wanted to steal a meal from the pelican. A majestic blue heron stood quietly in the shallows to claim its supper. And the pink flamingos just submerge its head to scoop up the food. Meanwhile, there always seemed to be marine iguanas underfoot or swimming around in pools along the rocky shores. The Beagle took us to some of the remoter islands. We could go ashore there with the Zodiac. We climbed the steep steps to the flat top of remote Genovesa Island on a birding expedition. The male frigate birds were striving mightily to attract a mate with raucous calls and by showing off their inflated throat display. The red-footed booby is the only booby that's able to land and to nest in trees. The blue-footed booby prefers a rocky shore. And another, the Nazca booby, was also involved with a mating ritual, a bit surprising as they already had one fluffy chick in the nest. Juvenile booby birds were all over, this one standing guard by its nest on the trail. On our return to the boat, there were always cold drinks and some snacks waiting in the commodious cockpit for us. The other 11 passengers were very good travelers and interesting companions. Our ship was well outfitted with navigation gear, and the captain easily guided us through the waters to our next anchorage at Santiago Island. We found a Galapagos dove, swallow-tailed gulls, and a yellow-crowned night heron. What do you suppose he was doing up during the day? Mama Sea Lion wanted to sun Beth, but the junior was hungry. Down the beach we watched a stone turner flip over rocks to get at his dinner, and a ring-billed gull at the edge of the rocky shoreline. Some evenings we pointed the bowsprit into the sunset colors, then had a very nice dinner while the boat brought us through the night to another unique anchorage. A morning rainbow brings us all on deck. At each anchorage, we were always ready to jump into the Zodiac and go off exploring the new environment. On the rocks, there were brightly colored Sally Lightfoot crabs. Today, there was a large groundfinch taking a bath, and a pair of oyster catchers having a rest. Some of the small Galapagos penguins were drying off after their swim, while others were still swimming in the waters close to the Zodiac. Marine iguanas had come to feed on the seaweed and algae that grows on the rocks. Surrounding landscapes sometimes included lava pockets or caves. This one was large enough for us to venture inside. The abundant sea turtles could easily be seen in the smooth waters. The flightless cormorant is only found in the Galapagos Islands. Again, the red Sally Lightfoot crabs were all over the rocks. A baby fur seal sunning itself, awaiting Mom's return from fishing, while the other sea lions lounge around or drop into the sea close to the Zodiac. One fin up. This is a means of body temperature regulating. Some places lend themselves to individual exploration with a kayak. Ashore again, we went to see the large land iguanas. They are much bigger than the marine species. Usually shy, this one was eager to ham it up for the photographers. The Beagle's crew happily awaited our return, then got underway toward a new horizon. Tonight was to be a special dinner. We all celebrated Anna's birthday, and there was a really nice cake to share.
Yeah. Super good. I hope I'm...
Early the next morning, we hit the beach along with herds of marine iguanas. They were returning from their food foraging on the outer rocks. The beach is a favorite nesting area, and there were hundreds of iguanas warming in the sun. This nest must be prime property, or else it's just a whole lot easier to let another iguana do the digging than take it over. Phew, Tucker's one out. The Galapagos hawk having a meal. Nearby, a mockingbird flays a cricket to eat. In between fascinating rolls of lava called pahoehoe, there were small patches of a special type of cactus, along with little lizards and a snake. It had been a hot morning ashore, and we were all more than ready to get back to the boat for a cool-down swim. It had been such fun to share all our fantastic experiences with this terrific group of people. The Galapagos are truly the enchanted islands, and our visit there provided many enchanted memories for us to hold forever.